Hey everybody, in this week's video I'm doing something just a little bit different. I'm going to show you what I have been working on for the last several weeks. It's a short documentary about a family tradition that the Gillette family celebrates on Thanksgiving every single year. We go out and play a family touch football game. We call it the Turkey Bowl. And this year was the 50th anniversary of us celebrating and doing that tradition. So really near and dear to my heart. It's something I've been working on for the past several weeks. I wanted to share it with you. Hopefully you'll check it out. Let me know what you think and let me know about any of your own family traditions. I would really love to hear about it. Next week we'll get back to more landscape and or some street photography. I've got some street photography that I shot in the UK that I will be sharing very soon. It's some really cool stuff, and can't wait to get that out to you. But for right now, without further ado, here is the Gillette Family Turkey Bowl 50th Anniversary documentary. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please hit the like button, the share button, and or the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Alright everybody, have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Gillette, and I will be interviewing Greg Gillette for the 50th annual Turkey Bowl.
Thanks for having me, Show.
Nice to have you over. What is your earliest Turkey Bowl memory?
I remember
walking to Boulder Hill School, carrying a beer, just goofy things like that. I think back on those and you know, the process of getting ready to play the game, because there was so much excitement and fun and laughing from everybody. And I just remember
sitting around the living room to guess the color of the shirts and to listen to Pop give his speech about what made the year special, and reliving all of the triumphs and the setbacks that we may have had over the year, but really just sitting there together and embracing it and remembering and taking it all in together. And I remember
the first time it snowed and Pop had to get the mower out so that we could still see like where the field was, kind of. And I remember Mom yelling at me because I didn't want to wear a coat. I remember
a touchdown I scored when I must have been no older than like 5 or 6, but I had the ball, and all of the adults on my team had made up their minds to intentionally like block off a route, which the other team sort of got the rhythm of pretty immediately. And so there was a lot of like people throwing each other across the path and me like diving between Uncle Gare and Pop and eventually just rushing my way to the finish line. And it was the greatest moment of my life.
And what kind of words of wisdom do you have, Pop?
Just love your family. Do what you can do for them. Try not to get in too many fights with them. Love them. That's all you got in this world, really, is your family. Your family means everything. Well, the Turkey Bowl began on Thanksgiving Day in 1969. And the teams were, Gregory was 9, and Jeffrey was 6. So I put them together, and you and I were the other team. Well, it was a beautiful day. If I recall correctly, it was probably in the low 60s, and we went out in the front yard and we played the Turkey Bowl. we're just sitting around inside the house in Boulder Hill, 40 Seneca Drive, and we started playing tackle down in the living room, and so I decided we'd have a football game out in the front yard. You were 3 years old. I was 28. And like I said, Greg was 9 and Jeff was 6. That's the beginning.
So, why did it end in a tie in year 1 and all the years after?
I had it in a tie because you guys would be fighting, the winner would be making fun of the loser, and it just caused problems. And when it ends in a tie, there's no problems.
But that was the very first year, so how did you know there was going to be problems?
I just guessed at it because you guys couldn't get along together anyway. Fought over toys. You're just typical boys. And I wasn't going to have the older guys making fun of you and me.
How do you feel about that, Ashok?
Mixed opinion. How about you?
I think it's, it's nice that it ends in a tie every year. It gives you something to look forward to the next year of trying to actually win the Turkey Bowl, even though you know that's impossible.
The Turkey Bowl has ended in a tie for 50 straight years. Why?
Because Gillettes are competitive and they'll be upset if they lose.
That's a pretty good answer.
I think crazy coincidence. I mean, we're all so good, and the teams are always just so equally balanced that it can only end in a tie by coincidence, I think.
Especially now that our family is getting older, there's people getting older, it's probably a good thing that we keep it as a tie because nobody needs to blow a hip out, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's because we all kind of struggled to count, and we're not good at keeping up with, what's going on. So we just kind of default like, oh, we tied. Good game, everybody.
So the game has been played for 50 years. For 50 years, it's been a tie. When we all started playing, we were, babies, basically. And so, we didn't want to kind of ruin the holiday by having, one or a couple of us be sad because we lost. And it made the game less competitive, but it made it more fun because then, we knew that if one team was ahead by a goal or two, then one of the little kids needed to score a touchdown, and that's fun, and it's a good thing. I like that.
I think the reason there's been 50 straight ties in the Super Bowls is this family has no winners at all.
Enough. The refs suck. Touchdowns get called back. Turnovers stand when other players are clearly out of bounds. And that's why we need to institute video replay.
Tie game? I don't know anything about any ties. My team kicked ass every year.
Well, it was my idea to get shirts. Down by the fire barn, there was another building next door that's been torn down there now, but Frank Johnson and his wife had a little printing company in there. She drew this turkey where he had a headband on, and there was a drop of sweat flying off of him, and I was really impressed with that. And so I'd have to say that Frank's wife was the one that drew him up, and I've kept him ever since.
Tell us about the misspellings on the shirts.
I wrote you an answer to that.
Yeah, go to your notes for this one.
Well, at any rate,
Well, as for my favorite turkey bowl shirt, all of the ones that have my name spelled wrong.
I haven't really seen my favorite t-shirt yet, because the one that I'm waiting for is the one where everything is spelled correctly and all the dates are right. So, yay, let's try this year.
My favorite turkey bowl jersey, I'd like to be snarky and say anyone where my name is spelled correctly.
I think my favorite jersey has got to be the one that says I got a 34 on an exam that you get 200 points just for signing your name.
Amy got a 36 on her SAT. That was
What's great about t-shirts is usually there is a mistake, like Amy, poor Amy, that one year for her SAT score, she got a big 34. I used to wear that shirt in Walmart just to see if anybody noticed, but then I decided probably Walmart wasn't the place to wear it.
I love them. I like all the ones that have the mistakes on them, like a joke with an E on the end.
How does Greg's youngest son spell his name?
ASHOKE.
How does Madeline Gillette spell her name?
MADDIE.
How does Rhonda's middle daughter spell her name?
ABBY. Abby.
What about, how does Greg's wife spell her name?
I'm not too sure on this one, but I'm going to go with PRATIMA.
I really like the fact that the jerseys themselves are, they're a family history. I think you could go through those years of the jerseys and you could kind of chart the course of our family, the births of our children, marriages, things like that. And, you know, I really think that that's a very cool representative history for the Gillette family.
And one of the questions was, what is your favorite turkey bowl shirt? And mine would be this one. 23, coincidentally, it would be the one where Garrick and I got married on May 23rd. It's really important, not being an actual Gillette, to be honored on the t-shirt because we feel welcome into the family.
You are a Gillette.
Brought two more good old Gillette boys into the world, so
yes. Speaking of two more Gillette boys.
The one with our wedding, because it was my wedding.
Same.
Those are all classics.
So my earliest memory of the turkey bowl would be Dad would play outside with the boys in the front yard. I sat in the front window, watched everybody play, and Mom cooked. So everybody was happy.
A few years back, there was about 3 inches of snow the day before Thanksgiving. We all still played in the Turkey Bowl. I think it was an abbreviated one, but just people slipping around in the snow trying to throw a football with big padded gloves. It all looked like a mess, but it was a ton of fun.
So actually, one of my favorite memories from Turkey Bowl history, and this is more Thanksgiving history, and it's actually pretty recent history, but it's one of my favorites, and I think it's going to be one of your favorites too. We, after like 50 years, almost 50 years, got to host Thanksgiving at our house. And I cooked the turkey. And I smoked it. And I took it off the grill at 165 degrees. And it's going to keep cooking up to 170. And I bring it in the house. Everybody, all 30, 40, whatever, 100 people were in our living room. And the main course of the Thanksgiving meal comes in. And my mother-in-law is cutting it. And she picks up a big turkey leg. And she's yelling at the top of her lungs, "The turkey's not done! It's not done! The turkey is not done!" But it was done. And everybody, what are you laughing at? Is
The
this
drama. It's just the drama, but we all know you.
Is this a true story, or is it
It's a true story.
My earliest turkey bowl memory is one of the first years that we did it in the backyard at the house on Seneca. You had scored a touchdown, but you were so driven. You scored that touchdown that he ran right across the goal line and into the Tomasino's fence.
Where we had mimosa jello shots at halftime to keep us warm for the game. And after the game, Carol asked me to come back and make pot brownies the next time I came, so...
My favorite Turkey Bowl memory. I don't know, I enjoy all of them. The same, more or less. I don't know, whenever there's like more family in town, that means more to me personally.
You know, we had memories of playing when it was just, you know, a few people, 4 or 6 people, and then you have memories of playing when we used to have practically 30, 40 people out there. And those were always fun.
I remember very specifically the last time I was at the Turkey Bowl. Grandma Carol mentioned that the next time we're all together, we should do wheat brownies. So, funniest and truest.
One of the funniest things that I remember is Carol had been slaving away all day in the kitchen, and we were about to have this beautiful meal, and she came out to the football field where we were all playing, and kind of exhausted, kind of exasperated, says to everyone, "Does anybody need anything?" as she's heading back in. And without missing a beat, John shouts from the field, "Can you make me a cheeseburger and fries?" And I just remember thinking, what?
And Aunt Debbie had us all write on a leaf what we were most thankful for, and then pass a jar around, and other people read your response. And so I thought that was just a really cool, fun, special dinner that we shared together.
All right, so one of my earliest memories in Turkey Bowl history was when I created an awesome hit list. And believe me, I took everybody out that was on that list. I mean, they were pretty much in the hospital after the Turkey Bowl that day. So, if I recall, it had Mom and Greg and Jeffrey, and I believe Gerald, Anna, were on the old hit list on my terrible towel, and I punished them. I punished them terribly. I almost feel bad about it now, but I don't. Yeah. Does this ring any bells?
And I honestly don't think I have one. I think it's just one of those things that's always been there. I feel like I have memories from turkey bowls I wasn't even at because of how frequently our family reminisces about all of that. So in my head, it's not even something that I have a super early memory of because it's just something that's always been ubiquitous.
Remember it all being so new to me, and then walking to the field behind Pop and Carol's house and just trying to blend in and not look like a klutz and score.
So I can't really think of an earliest memory because it's almost as if it's a part of me.
Turkey Bowl 2010.
This is gonna taste terrible. I don't think there's enough words to describe what the Turkey Bowl means to me. I think it's really symbolic that it happens on Thanksgiving. You know, Pop could have chosen any holiday to take the boys out to play football. And to know that the Turkey Bowl happens on a day that is meant for gratitude and Thanksgiving is really special, because that's all it is to me, is an opportunity to show the people that I love them, and to carry on a really special tradition of love and family and gratitude. And I'm so thankful that we've been able to carry it on for 50 years. Thanks, Pop.
It's where you really find out about people, new members, when they come into the family. For instance, when Patrima came in, you get to know her when she was new to the family. And like when Debbie played her first game, you got to see that she was a way better athlete than her boyfriend at that time was. And so it really was a good introduction to the family, and you can see what people's makeup were.
Simply enough, just means being with family, being with the people that we love, and talking a bunch of fake smack on the field, and just having a bunch of fun with the people that we love.
It just talks about your family and the closeness of your family, and the fact that your family can grow and new people can come into your family. And so it's something that brings everyone together, I think, and that's really the most important part of it.
What does the Turkey Bowl mean to you?
Family.
Turkey Bowl tradition is family. It's family. It's love. It's just family.
Yeah. Family.
It would be family, and that it's something that people make such an effort to come out for, and it's just always associated with such happiness and just, you know, really, really good celebratory times, and it makes me really happy every single year.
It means family. It's something that is intrinsic to our family, and it's something that is important in the fabric of our family every year. And
The future of the Turkey Bowl, oh geez, hopefully someday we'll be playing on the beach somewhere in the sand. But I don't see the Turkey Bowl ending anytime soon. I think the kids will keep it going, and it'll be a lifelong event for everybody.
the future of the Turkey Bowl, wow. You know, maybe there's a UK Turkey Bowl, or a West Coast Turkey Bowl, or who knows where we're all going to be over time. but we'll share those moments and we'll enjoy the stories that we can tell each other as our children and our grandchildren play the game, and that tradition will live on beyond all of us.
The future of the Turkey Bowl are guys like you. But yeah, I think it will always continue on. We'll always pick it up, and it's because it brings our family together with it.
The future of the Turkey Bowl. We've got a very qualified group of 20-somethings and or 30-somethings, I guess at this point, that are ready to take the reins and keep this wonderful tradition going, and I can absolutely see this reaching 100 years, assuming there's someone out there that wants to pay for the shirts.
Maybe that needs to be left in the will.
Yes. There you go.
50 more years. I think we got to keep it going, and I think it's something that will draw our whole family out every single year for as long as possible. I hope we get to the century mark with this.
I think the future of the Turkey Bowl is bright. I think the seed has been very well placed amongst the cousins, but I think the outlook is very positive because we've all grown. Like I grew up playing in this game. Like, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to see my family again, like extended family, everybody. Like, that really means a lot to me.
And last but not least, what is the future of the Turkey Bowl? Well, I think we've got something in mind. Is that it? Do you want to end it like that?
I don't know.
And we are at the start of the game. There's Dare and there's Abby. But there's Papa and Jake. And look at Nick running through the leaders. Wow, what a champ.
That we always end in a tie, which could also be filed under biggest controversy. Jesus Christ. My favorite tradition.
Was that a touchdown or not?
No.
Why
Definitely, because I got him down on the one.
not? Bull crap. We have photographic evidence that shows that John broke the plane.
It's not indisputable. Come
It's
on.
indisputable.
You don't even have a time
The
stamp.
call on the field was a touchdown.
The call on the field was down at the one.
Yeah.
Call.
This was
I said it was a
overruled
touchdown.
without indisputable video evidence.
It was clearly.
Then our teammate gives him.
Yeah.
It was clearly a touchdown.
Bad for him.
It doesn't matter. I got two.
It was clearly a touchdown.
What's the deal with your pants?
What was the question again, sir?
What is your favorite Turkey Bowl moment?
When I trashed Allison when she was like 2 years old, I took her out.
Oh my God.
She was one. Hey, you know what? If you're gonna play, you're gonna pay. You know, we're going full speed. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're 1 or if you're 50. I'll take you out. Tell us why is there a number 8?
8 on our shirt.
Why is there a number 8 on our jersey?
I think maybe Pearl's on the phone with the guy at Hawthorne. I think she was telling him she wanted the 8 horse.
Yeah.
And
She wanted
great.
8.
She wrote it down on the thing, on the stencil. She wrote down number 8.
8 in the 8. 8 in the 8.
There it is. The
Let's
mystery.
get a shot of it.
Hey, next year we're going to put the other.
Yeah, there it is. Number 8. Number 8.
The mystery is solved. I just don't know.
What is your favorite thing about the Turkey Bowl?
We get to go out and play football, and it's with like our whole family, and then we go get to eat and get fat. It's why I like it so much.
What does the Turkey Bowl mean to you?
I mean, kicking some ass, I guess.
And taking names? Cashing checks and snapping necks?
Pretty much. That's all I do.
Top 10 things about the Turkey Bowl.
Food. Killing Emma, or beating Emma, brother.
That's 2.
How it's always a tie. How we're gonna win this year.
All right.
Kicking ass and taking names. Being on Uncle Gare's team.
There you go.
Woo! Being on Dad's team. I win.
Hi.
Hi.
We're gonna beat white team's butts.
Excellent.
What, today? That's what I was going to use the extra roll.
Hi, Mom.
The main thing with the Turkey Bowl that's very prevalent in my mind is that all my kids are coming home and they're bringing their kids, and that's what I look forward to, and that makes me feel good, and I'm proud of that.
Thank you for the interview, and thank you for coming along all this way.
Wow, thanks for having me, show. It's been brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Till next time.
Till next time.